bin eingeloggt.
Okay.
Zumindest in dem, wo er den Link gestern geschickt hat.
Okay, Ganesh, Caroline says she's already logged in from yesterday's link. Can you see her?
Wait, maybe I think
Yes.
something
No,
wrong.
I sent the new link.
Der hat einen neuen Link geschickt.
Okay.
Probier's mal da, okay?
Okay, bis gleich.
Ja. She took the old link.
Oh, okay.
She will be here.
Send the same email again.
No,
Yeah,
she's here. You see?
She's here.
Yeah, okay.
Good morning.
Guten Morgen.
You're on mute.
Sorry, my microphone was on mute. I pressed the right link, but I didn't attend the meeting. So the final button, attending the meeting, I didn't press it. So
yeah, what happens with me often is, in the first question from the video systems, be it Teams or whatever, is allow or cancel. I prepare everything and then I push cancel and then things are gone. Okay, Caroline, because we do not have that much time, Dennis, if you excuse, I just prepare Caroline about what we have discussed with
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay?
Yes.
Caroline, einfach schnell auf Deutsch, geht schneller. Wir haben ja jetzt noch eine Sprecherin reingekriegt, die habe ich jetzt vergrößert auf die Zeit nach dir. Wann musst du denn genau weg?
Ich muss allerspätestens 11:30 Uhr weg.
Was?
Also ich habe Zeit.
Dann ist überhaupt kein Problem.
Ich habe nur das
auch mit der Dame in ein Ding einsteigen. Ich habe das, wie du es gesehen hast, habe sofort weitergeleitet, habe morgen gekriegt, habe keine Ahnung, was sie macht. Ich habe gerade mit ihr 3 Minuten gesprochen. Irgendwie ist sie auch in so einem, was weiß ich, Einkäufer, Verkäufer, Verband, keine Ahnung. Und es ist im Automobilbereich tätig. Und was ich jetzt mit ihr vereinbart hatte, ist, dass erstmal du dran bist.
Ja.
Hast du denn irgendeine Art Präsentation oder irgendwas oder machen wir das alles mündlich? Also
ich kann auch was aufmachen, ja.
Also wo du ein bisschen wenigstens die Firma mit Präsentation vorstellst.
Okay. Ja, dann nur mal eben gucken, welche ich aufmachen kann. Kann ich machen, ja. Und was fragst du mich jetzt? Oder was willst du mich fragen?
Achso, ja, eigentlich im Prinzip das Gleiche, wie ich mit der indischen Kollegin da es gemacht habe. Also das eine ist sozusagen die Entwicklung in der deutschen Industrie. Ich würde mal gern eingehen auf das, was du in der E-Mail geschrieben hast. Ich kann sie verarbeiten, nicht retten. Warum eigentlich? Was ist los mit Corona? Also aktuelle Situation. Der erste Bereich, hatten wir darüber gesprochen. Der zweite Bereich ist, anscheinend geht ja dann der Bedarf an Globalisierung oder an Teilen, Produkten, Suppliers in Indien weiter, von Deutschland aus gesehen. Dann wollten wir zu der Frage dann übergehen, und was sind dann Hausaufgaben, die indische Lieferanten sozusagen zu machen haben oder zu bedenken haben. Ne? Das wäre so der dritte Komplex.
Ja.
Okay.
Ja.
Und dann kann man schon mal eingehen noch auf vielleicht so, ja auch schon im Gespräch auf so Knackpunkte im Verhältnis, die man ja kennt oder diskutiert hat, Transparenz von Entscheidungen, von Diskussionen, Kommunikation, die notwendig ist, Qualitätskonzepte, die mittlerweile unklar sind, die dokumentiert werden müssen. Also ein bisschen ins Eingemachte, ne, welche Punkte wären dir noch wichtig, dass ich sie anspreche zu dem?
Vielleicht was du oder fragen könntest, was ich dann auch so ein bisschen zu sagen kann, was wir jetzt gerne neu reinbringen würden, dieses Thema Smart Virtual Inspection.
Ja, genau. Ja, du erinnerst dich, dass der Wilfried mich in der Sache angerufen hat, ne?
Ja, ja.
Ja, gut, dann machen wir das als als ein Thema.
Ja, im Bereich halt wie, was indische Firmen tun können, um sich vielleicht auch selber darzustellen, dass sie das anbieten, mit anbieten oder den virtuellen Rundgang ihrer Firmen darstellen und solche Sachen.
Okay, das sprechen wir auf jeden Fall an. Als Innovation und Empfehlung und auch als dann den Kontaktpunkt. Ja, also, ne? Okay.
Ja.
Ja gut, das kriegen wir schon hin. Also ich denke, also vereinbart mechanisch ist ja, das Ganze soll ja eigentlich nur eine Dreiviertelstunde dauern. Was mich ja gestern gewundert hat, dass ja überhaupt keine anderen Teilnehmer da waren.
Ja, wie war denn jetzt wirklich gar keiner dabei?
Ich habe keine Ahnung. Also in dem Saal war niemand dabei, aber er sagt, es ist ja eine reale Ausstellung oder Veranstaltung, die er da macht. Und da wird es auf irgendwelchen Bildschirmen gestreamt, beziehungsweise es wird auch über YouTube in die Welt gestreamt. Aber wie viele da zugucken, habe ich keine Ahnung. Ja, also,
Ja.
für mich war dann gestern der Benefit in dem Gespräch mit dem Kirsch auch, dass ich halt mit dem auch noch mal ein paar Fragen, so wie mit dir nachher ja auch, ein paar Fragen ansprechen konnte, über die wir sowieso auch noch mal reden müssen und wie man die auch nach außen darstellt, dann ist es so ein Lauf. Ich danke dir nochmal vielmals, dass du da mitmachst auf dem Terrain, wo wir uns halt noch nicht so gut auskennen, wer da was macht, aber es ist eine wichtige Veranstaltung und ist schon.
Okay, so, ich habe eine Präsentation aufgemacht. Die kann ich gleich nur teilen. Wie muss ich das denn hier teilen? Wie geht das?
Ja, unten steht, wenn du das Fenster siehst, ist ja unten freigeben. Ja, du könntest es ja mal probieren.
Warte.
Ja.
Habe ich jetzt richtig geklickt? Ja. Jetzt warte, ich muss den unten das noch rausnehmen mit dem Datum.
Wo ist denn diese Kulisse da?
Das ist Singapur eigentlich.
Okay, bitte.
So. Jetzt habe ich das raus und dann habe ich generell Textentwicklung.
Das ist ja viel Text.
Warte, das kann ich als eine Seite.
Ja, dann machen wir ein, zwei Seiten, da fand ich so einfach, dass
3 Seiten raus.
so ein bisschen einen Einstieg hat, ne?
Ja. Gut. Gut. Warte, jetzt packst die raus. Die raus. Und hier gibt es noch eine
Der
mit
Braut,
Referenzen.
genau.
Mit Referenzen, die vergeben. Oben. So, die besser.
Ja, genau. Also das ist dann schon mal 5 Minuten auf jeden Fall.
Ja.
Weil eure Firma vorstellt, damit fangen wir dann auch an. Ne, dass sie ja wissen, wer immer guckt. Ja.
Ja. Okay. Und wo bist du denn jetzt? Ja. Warte, dann soll ich das noch drin lassen oder soll ich das erstmal nämlich wieder raus? Ne?
Welches?
Die Präsentation, also gebe ich jetzt.
Achso, nee, ich fange mit der Präsentation an, wo ich die Veranstaltung vorstelle. Und wenn ich dich dann aufrufe, dann machst du den Schritt nochmal. Ne?
Ja. Ich muss aber gucken, wie ich da jetzt eben wieder rauskomme.
Das ist relativ einfach. Ich gehe jetzt einfach mal rein in meins, ne? Und dann
Okay. Und dann gib du frei.
jetzt müssen wir mal gucken, wo das ist. Das ist immer da, wo dieses Ding da ist.
Hello, so nice. Good morning.
Good morning, Caroline. How are you?
Good morning. I can hardly hear you.
Vielleicht ist sie in Mute noch.
Nee, ich höre ein bisschen was. Ja, it's better. But yeah, I can hear you, but very but hardly.
No problem. No problem. I'll try to switch my network. Just give me a couple of minutes. Yeah.
It's difficult to hear you, Sonal. Wahrscheinlich mit ein neues Mikrofon.
Ja. Ich kann es auch mit Mikrofon machen, aber hörst du mich?
Nee, you're okay, Carol.
Ja.
I can hear you well. You can hear me. We
Yes.
tested it, and with Sonal, the preparation was also okay. I think so. We should be.
Ja.
Sind nur noch mehr hier drin, okay. Sonal?
Verschwunden. Oder sie wollte irgendwas, hat sie von Network gesagt.
Wir sind jetzt wahrscheinlich schon online. So we have to switch to English.
Yes.
We are live now. Okay, we are on the auditorium. Welcome.
Okay.
Mr. Hans.
Yes.
Mr. Hans, floor is yours. Please continue. Thank you. Thank you for the show.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ganesh, for giving me the word here in the online webinar, seminar, conference, which we are organizing here for the trade show. I'm very happy that I have both speakers of these days with me. From India, with Sonal Lahoti, and from Germany, where I'm also based, Caroline Hamburger. I will introduce both speakers later. First of all, I will introduce a little bit myself. I'm editor of the Global Business Magazine, and we're covering topics of international trade, and that is why, of course, we have since many years, a focus also of India, on Indians, manufacturers and suppliers who are building a very important part of the supply chain of many companies in Germany, and that is exactly what we will discuss today. Supply chains connecting Germany and India. Sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes there are a lot of opportunities. Sometimes there are also opportunities missed. And I think with both speakers today, we will be able to give you in the audience an idea how to establish good buyer-supplier relations with German companies. And one more time, Caroline Hamburger from GPS Germany will introduce her company and what she's doing later. And Sonal Lahoti from Bimek Exports in Pune, also focusing the automotive sector, which is so much part of the German industrial DNA. The Global Business Magazine, which I'm editing, is doing a lot in foreign trade. We are mapping ecosystems, industry sectors, we're developing databases for foreign trade, and we are interviewing, organizing online conferences. We're talking a lot with entrepreneurs from Germany, with a very global perspective, and that is one of the reasons why I'm very happy that we can start right now with a discussion. Caroline, I'm asking you just to present a little bit what is GPS doing and how are you doing India business from Münster in Germany, which is a city quite in the north of Germany, and how you came to this very intensive business relationship with India.
Okay. Thanks, Hans. Thank you for giving the word to me. Very good morning or good afternoon to everybody in India listening to us. Yes, I would shortly present myself. I'm just opening up a few slides of a presentation. A second, yes. So why you see a picture of Singapore in the background? The reason is GPS, Global Procurement Services. This organization has been founded 25 years back from a German person, very intelligent engineer who has accompanied German medium-sized companies and also big organizations to Asia to find the right suppliers for them or to develop suppliers for them in Asia. It started with offices in Singapore and China, and I'm the one who set up the office in India, started the business in India. I'm the managing director of the Indian operation, also sometimes helping, here you see some of our customers, supporting them also on the Far East Asian market. So why I'm able to tell you something about Indo-German relations, or what is the reason behind it? My focus was in my studies on economy. I studied economics and the political science of South Asia. I worked a few years with German company EBM Parts, which has a own subsidiary in India, and afterwards joined GPS to build up the business and the company in India. In Germany, I'm sitting not in Münster correctly, Hans, I'm sitting in a small town called Stadtlohn at the Dutch border and like 1 hour north of the rural area. But I think in today's world, it's you can sit in a small village or in a big town. Luckily, due to digitalization through the internet, we are able to connect even with India very well. And the same to our customers who are sitting all over Germany. And we have the office in India in Chennai, where my colleagues are sitting and supporting our customers on the one side in design development, prototyping, the focus very much on sourcing and procurement. But since our customers, many of them have grown with us, we started also supporting them in the field of production, setting up a production or an assembly line in India, in Asia, and around this, supporting them with logistic solutions and how to set up a distribution network on the sales business in these markets. So, and our services in India are on the one side what we are supporting our European customers with: sourcing and supplier management, audits, quality control, pre-shipment inspections, and on the other side, operational services and factory management, mainly and also in the field of sales. So this is from my side, Hans. I give the word back to you.
So, right, just making the video on. Thank you for this introduction into what GPS is doing in India, what you are doing. I think when we were connecting to each other for this event, I was asking you, and maybe this was a wrong question from my side. I was thinking, okay, now it's we have the Corona crisis or the COVID crisis everywhere, so it might be difficult to think about supply chain things. Yesterday in our discussion with Mr. Kirsch from the electrical industry, he said, no, not at all. There is reviewing global supply chains, and that is creating cooperation opportunities. And yesterday we were discussing about the opportunities for the electrical industry, being it in the electrical parts of the car or in third markets together with Indian suppliers. When I asked you, you said, okay, I'm ready to discuss, but in this moment, we have so many requests for doing business in India that I was wondering, how come this situation? And well, what is the relation to the Corona crisis? Is there no crisis at all? How would you describe the situation?
Yes, correct. You're right, Hans. I had the same feeling or thought at the beginning of the crisis. So first of all, let's say in January and February when it started only and was mainly related to China, we got a few requests, business requests or customers asking them developing suppliers in India because they thought, oh, Corona, China, nothing is happening there. We have to move to other markets also. That was one good thing, at least for me. But then when it started as a worldwide crisis, I was very much afraid and thought, oh no, now it's happening same like 2008. Many, especially German companies, would say, no, we stop our global supply chains or trying to get a part of it back to Europe and more focusing on Eastern Europe suppliers or Italian, Spain, casting suppliers, for example. But the opposite happened. So now none of our customers stopped their supply chain in such a way. They rather focusing even more on developing an international supply chain and trying to focus not only on one country like on China, they more and more also focusing on India. And for example, even the political situation and also how India, the Indian crisis management has shown some of our customers, oh, still it's a very interesting market. We had one customer, he was not sure, or the management, the top management said, no, we want to develop for our product suppliers in Russia now. But the head of procurement said, I would rather have a look into India. So I convinced him with email telling him, see, do you see how India is managing the crisis with lockdown, with everything, not denying that there is a virus? In Russia, it was initially denied, and people said there are rather some lung infection, but no virus. And he was convinced. Now we're starting with a workshop and a big sourcing project for them in India.
So that's a different situation, but maybe also later in discussion with Sonar, we can a little bit more focus on the status of supply chains, logistics, or whatever. But there is an increasing number of companies being interested in to do business with India, finding suppliers. Is it more, Caroline, is it more the companies from Germany who are already in India, having their plants, having their factories or corporations to find local suppliers, or is it more that they are looking for suppliers for their plants elsewhere in the world? You know, there was a discussion in Germany that the global supply chain will be replaced by local supply chains, local for local. This was the very big discussion we had when I was doing some interviews with CEOs that yes, we will maintain a global infrastructure because we have to follow our customers, but it makes no sense to have one part traveling all around the world. So it's better to have a local base of suppliers. What would you see in your customers? Is it more local for local, or is still the general global for global?
I think it's companies who are really deep into it and have a strategy for it in mind and a vision. They combining both. On the one hand, they have the local for local, or they keeping their German European suppliers and making sure that they getting a good part of the business. And also as a backup if anything is happening in the global supply chain. But on the other side, they also focusing on more and more developing this global supply chain and diversifying it, not only on one country, maybe on China or on Mexico or on Brazil. They're trying to have a good mix because most of them, let's be it the little bigger family-owned medium-sized companies, they are in many of these markets, they are present already, be it with just the sales business or even be it with the production. So they have feet in the market already, and therefore they doing both. See, and having a
Now, talking about what kind of opportunities there are for Indian suppliers, how to benefit from this trend. What would you recommend to Indian suppliers to prepare a relationship? I think there are some specific demands and quality requests. How to meet them? What is if you are meeting an Indian supplier first time? What is it? What you talk to him as a homework to start successful business with German buyers?
Yes, to on the one side, in general, as you said, a few basics are there. What the German companies are looking for, that are the basic quality requirement, be it the ISO 9001 certificate, or if it is for automotive and special industries on these certificates which are required for it. But some of the customers are happy to develop a supplier, but most of them really looking for a readily available good infrastructure. So I think it's just to be a little bit patient, because the Germans start slowly. They send you initially hell a lot of paperwork instead of selecting some suppliers, travel to India and simply visit. Okay, it's at the moment not possible, but they have a long RFI, request for information. They're asking for a non-disclosure agreement. So very often it stops at this point already, because the Indian supplier does not return the RFI on time or the NDA, especially when it then comes to companies who do everything through a global supply system or an IT system in their company, where you have to enter your quotation online and not sending it via email. We have very often supported the suppliers in entering the quotes with such a system. Or we say, we find a supplier for the German company in India, we get all the quotation, and the most competitive one we will enter into the system. So you should be ready for this kind of initial communication requirement from the German side.
Honestly said, would you qualify this German request? Are they this sounds maybe for some Indian suppliers sounds a little bit bureaucratic or selective, or when you're saying they must be patient, sounds a little bit like an euphemism that it is really tough and difficult to get on the lists and so on. So how long is this process from the very first contact to bids? What to be expected? 2 months, 4, 6? I've no idea. Maybe you can generalize a little bit.
Yeah, but most of the time it takes until you, so for us, what we also quote our services to the customer, we say it takes some, 2 to 3 months to get all these papers together and send out then also the RFQs and get the quotations. This is sometimes tiring to run behind quotations. I can understand sometimes the companies in India say, oh, they only contacting us to get a price comparison. Sure, then you are not that much interested, but in most of the cases, there's really the opportunity for business. So just react on it and become a part of it, so that these what we see now with one customer, immediately after they got these paperwork done, NDA, RFI, and all those, they do video web sessions with each of the supplier they are interested in, and to discuss the technical details, send the drawings, and then get a really, say, correct quotation, which is not, again, opening up too many question marks. Yeah. So it's good to start in direct communication as soon as possible. Yeah.
Okay, so the point is that virtual preparation takes more and more place. Now, coming back to the Corona situation, the time when buyers travel on trade shows like the one Mr. Ganesh is organizing, that they are not traveling in the moment, I suppose. But whatever I hear from the German companies, they are reluctant to travel overseas or internationally if they do not have a local team of buyers. They do not attend the real shows, which are still taking part in some parts of Asia. So virtual tools to know more about a product, about also production, also about facilities, also about the capabilities. I mean, that supplier is able to expand delivery. That needs to be covered by video. How is that possible?
Yes, for example, you have a lot of new technical tools, be it this one example is you just go to take the basic version, you take your tablet or iPad, whatever, go into your production and make a nice video, like a virtual walk through your production and through your facility to present yourself, and to present yourself then, be it only on your website, but also on whatever there is at the moment, online exhibitions or webinars or whatever is possible. But also, if you want to show really details or discuss problems in your production with your customer abroad, who cannot send the engineer from Germany to India to have a look at the tools on the heavy casting part, there are tools like smart glasses, which really working well, where you have a good high resolution in the picture itself, where your engineer in your production is wearing this glass, is filming whatever part is, or looking at the part you are discussing about, and in real time, the quality head of the customer in Germany is sitting in front of his PC and is viewing what you are seeing in your own production or what he's watching at. So to see, is it a problem of the production process? Is this a problem of the machining? Wherever it's, you have to find the issue. And these are opportunities you have today in this digital world with such smart virtual inspections, also to send companies like service providers who offer this in India, like we do it, for example. We do smart virtual inspections with such glasses and go to the Indian supplier and make the inspection like that for our customers. So these are also opportunities you have.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. A very interesting response to the COVID crisis, which seems to mean the products still are transported. The world logistics is working, but the logistics of the weakest point in the supply chain of human beings, when it's halted, there are tools to bridge it somehow. Well, I think we will hear much more of these tools later. And if companies are interested to learn more, contact you. You will find Caroline Hamburger on LinkedIn, of course. And I would like now to introduce also Sona Lahoti from BIMEC Exports. Ms. Sona, maybe you can also join us with the video and then go for some questions also for your business.
Yes, sure hands. So am I audible?
Okay, so yes, you're audible, and hopefully you heard from your colleague or partner or competitor. I don't know exactly what your relation could be. How GPS is doing the business now. The requests to summarize Caroline's contribution. There is more interest in local suppliers. There's more interest in a diverse supply chain worldwide. So that's creating opportunities for Indian suppliers. And one of the COVID responses is to go more virtual, even with audits and, virtual inspection and all these things. And that is what Caroline is and GPS are working with. And so from maybe you introduce a little bit about your experience in the industry, which is mainly in the automotive industry, as I mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah. So can I first introduce a little bit about my company first, so that it gives a context, to my
yes, exactly.
examples.
That was the idea.
Okay.
You tell us a little bit about BIMEC.
Yeah. So let me share the presentation of my company.
Okay.
And okay. So BIMEC Exports is a merchant export company, an ISO 9001-2015 certified company, established 18 years ago. So initially it was, it was just kind of just procuring locally from the Indian markets and supplying to the customers. So that is the way we just started at the beginning. But since last 5 years, we have taken up providing, more holistic services to the customers. So being a merchant export company has enabled us to deal with all kind of products, all kind of processes, all sizes, all materials. So now that was the first step, to cater to all requirements that our customer has in the metal and rubber components. But so, these are some of the snapshots of what we can do for the companies, for the customers. As Caroline mentioned, so there are certain certification requirements, and we do consider what is it that our customers want and tie up only with those facilities. And we work in a very, very transparent manner, so we can take our customers to visit the actual manufacturing facility where the parts are being produced. there is absolutely no ambiguity. So right from the beginning, we are very transparent. So moving forward, what we have done now is we have stepped up, we have taken one more step and we are providing additional services to our customers. So it's not only providing them the parts that they want, but additional services like some of the customer need warehousing of their products in India. So we are helping them with those as well. They need, some work done like cleaning of their parts to be done. So for some reason, there are some issues that they're facing in India. So we help them get connected with the correct bodies and agencies to resolve those issues. So these are the additional services that we are providing. And through this kind of uh, overall engagement, we have built a reputation. We have created a name for ourselves that are one of the reliable partners to work with in India. So coming back to the point that you had brought up, so there is a need of connecting directly with some local vendors, because then the customer is not restricted to only some set of facilities or some ways of doing things. So but it is very difficult for the customer to get in touch with small and medium sized businesses because some of them may not have an international presence over digital networking social websites. So it is companies like with such suppliers and take care of all their requirements. So that is the way it is. So it will, it is really the need of the hour that now more and more local suppliers from India are also able to get on the international platform.
Mhm. Okay, so you are dealing with a lot of small and medium business, as I understand, and that is one of the drivers behind developing your services.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe you can tell a little bit more about the, I would not say the deficits, but maybe the obstacles and problems small and medium businesses have and how you are facing it. Some were mentioned already in the business approach of your company, but maybe you go a little bit more in detail. If a small and medium company has a product which seems to fit to a production line wherever in the world, hearing about Germany as a business locomotive in the world or in Europe, what to do then first as an engineering facility being able to develop things, what to do first to gain the market in Germany?
So as you asked first about the deficits or maybe the issues that we are facing initially when we start dealing with a new customer. Yeah. So mainly there is a trust issue initially when it is a new discussion between a new customer and a new supplier. So mainly it is how we gain trust of the customer. So so the way for to overcome this is to have a regular engagement. First, being transparent with what are the capabilities of the facility and being upfront of all the parameters customer. Because I'll give you an example where the most frequent issue happens. So like I have received a design from the customer. I interact with one of the good suppliers in India. We take into consideration the current raw material prices and accordingly make a quotation to the customer. But by the time the part has, the discussion has moved ahead in the cycle, and by the time the actual PO is going to come, the raw material prices have fluctuated a lot. So now how to go back to the customer? So this needs to be pointed out much earlier in the discussions that these are certain parameters which are going to be, let's say, dynamic and which we need to weigh later on again while making a final commitment. So these one of the most frequent issues that I come across. And then there are other, some non-technical problems that come in picture sometimes. There's a language barrier is one of the biggest factor sometimes. So in case of German customers, and then I would say if I consider Europe, in case of Italian customers. So the language barrier is sometimes poses a big question. And so now, we also consider taking some translator agencies' help to deal with this kind of situation.
So you're talking about the technical language in translating, literally translating the technical requests into which might not only be a language problem, but also maybe a problem of reception and understanding the requests. Okay.
Yes, so as not to have any ambiguity in understanding the requirement. So because while having all technical discussions, this gap should not be there. So it should be all clear to all the parties present. So that is one of the factors that come into picture.
So then there is another interesting point, was an interesting point in your presentation. You said that you're overtaking, or these companies are outsourcing their warehouse facilities to your company, because they are not able to have these warehouses and storage facilities, whatever. So it's the same process as I see this. We will later discuss in 3 with Caroline. Overtaking some of the issues or understanding some of the issues means being ready to solve it by an own commitment and entrepreneurial risk also to make this. But this is creating a strong partnership between companies like yours to the medium suppliers.
Yes. So these are, some small points which can cause big issues to the customer because they do not get a simple and easy resolution. So taking help of their existing partners is beneficial for them. It does not have, for them, the risk factor is mitigated because they are working with known partners. And for us, it is an increase in business. So we are more than willing to help the customer. It's like a win-win situation for the customer and us as supplier.
Okay, first of all, it is a win-win situation for me today in this meeting to have both sides, Germany and an organization helping to purchase and to buy, and India, represented by Sonal, a company helping Indians to sell. So I would also be happy, Caroline, if you have some questions or some remarks on what Sonal was presenting and vice versa. So because you are both really into the daily struggle which buying, supplying sometimes mean, maybe you can exchange a little bit your ideas.
Yeah, I would like to know, it's very interesting to hear also Sonal's experience, which is also similar to our experience with the suppliers. You would like to have medium or smaller sized Indian suppliers also to present them to the foreign customers, but there are hurdles where, you like Sonal and we are supporting and trying to help them to really make a good business out of it. And one issue, like you said, the language barrier is there. Another issue is also basic thing, logistic costs. We have now a customer, they got quotations from the interesting Indian suppliers, but they have included the logistic cost. And so they don't know what is the price for the part, what is logistic cost. Sometimes it's not transparent. So they asking us, can you tell us from Pune to Chennai, from Delhi to Chennai to this port. Can you give us an idea what will be what is the logistic cost? So then it's easier maybe for the Indian supplier just to quote X works. So then it's more transparent also for the customer what is really the cost of the part. So these are all small issues which,
Yes.
yeah, being part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
And where you are supporting also with your warehouse, which is a good option. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really agree to that point, Carolyn, where you mentioned, I think in current scenario, Indian suppliers are right now more confident to quote X works than, than quote completely, because they're not sure about the port of lading and the destination ports and other costs, because that's an entirely different segment. So the manufacturing industries here focus mainly on the production costs, and so the confidence of their X works cost is much higher. So it is really recommended that the cost is taken at that level, and all the shipment and freight related costs are quoted at actuals to the customer. So so that does not lead to any kind of discussions or disagreements later on. Yeah, I do agree.
One question also to you, Sonal.
Yes.
Caroline mentioned these virtual inspections. Do you think your customers would be ready and willing to have virtual inspection with the AR, VR lenses, going into details? I'm asking this frankly. Why? Because when we started our publications on business in India, it was a colleague of Caroline telling us this, Wilfried Gorkowski, telling us this experience. Well, a website and a brochure, they are this kind of patient. You can write everything, and it is well formatted, and it's shiny, and it's glossy, whatever, and it's fine. But the reality, when facing the real needs, and also if a German buyer is interested in goods, he is not only interested in one point delivery, but in developing a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And so it's needed to see, and that is what I was thinking when hearing about this AR, VR, or virtual inspection. Yes, this great surprise, positive or negative, whatever. If you go to a company, you enter the production, you see the engineers sitting in a room developing things. You can spy on over their shoulders which kind of software they are using, how good it is, how many people are there. There is also this experience, and I'm telling my experience, that you receive a picture, a photograph, which is not fake, but a little bit over reality, that this is our development department. Then you see 20 bright engineers, and the reality is something different. So this kind of, you were mentioning it, Sana, in building up trust. Would this help, these virtual things?
Yeah, that's a little bit tricky, I would say. Personally, I believe that it's an interaction. It cannot be replaced by virtual interaction. So a customer visiting us, the manufacturing facilities, as you said, seeing engineers sitting together, designing and working, manufacturing, the kind of confidence and trust that builds is definitely of a different level. It cannot be really replaced by a virtual inspection or a virtual visit. But let us say right now we are tied. The situation is such that it is in it's out of our control. So we have to adapt. I would say manufacturing is one of the sectors for which it is difficult to become, go so much digital like some other sectors. But yes, but if we see today, we do have very good tools, very good AR, VR tools to at least come up to some level of trust that we could have built in in-person visit. So that is the first step we can take, and definitely at some point of time, because as you said, it will be a long-term relationship. So maybe not at the beginning, but over a period of time, there could be further visits planned. But right now, we have to take leverage of all the digital tools that we have available. As you see, of course, I would have loved to meet you and Caroline in person if it would have been a physical event.
Yeah.
Does that mean that I would give up this chance of meeting you virtually? No. I would still love to go ahead, have this discussion with you. So let us say we take whatever we can. Let's make the best out of the situation. And maybe if the virtual inspection is not satisfactory enough, maybe there can be some samples sent at every stage of production. There are other ways of building up that trust, which may be lacking in the virtual inspection. So that is still possible to overcome.
Caroline, your reply?
Yes. Sure. I'm agreeing to Sonal that it's definitely not replacing the personal contact. It's a tool to overcome this current situation, not able to travel, and to somehow keep up the communication and keep up the pictures, showing the pictures of your production and what is going on there, and present yourself and promoting the business forward. So it's a tool for it. But nevertheless, I think each quality head here also in Germany would rather love to travel and see the supplier himself. Yeah. Go through it, smell it, feel it with every sense. Yeah. But it's a opportunity to support in this situation, and also in future to at least reduce, maybe if you have to visit India 4 times a year as a quality guy, you visit it twice, because some problems can be solved in this way without traveling. So yeah.
Okay.
Or can build up trust also. Yeah.
Okay, building trust, that would be a final question in our discussion. For building trust and the first contact, trade shows have always been essential. Also, when we were discussing yesterday with Mr. Kirsch, he said, well, all my contacts I made during real conferences and not by the speakers on the panel, but in the floor discussion afterwards, in the lunch and so on. Then you make these classical business card exchange meetings, and you got a lot of prospects and contacts. This is also missing. So my question would be, well, how do you think trade shows should be organized with this virtual thing? So exhibitors, do they already make use of the tools they have, or how is your feeling about the situation of trade shows right now? And also, what would you recommend our partner Ganesh from PowerElec to develop these kind of events during this period? Any suggestions? Caroline?
So I thought you were asking Ganesh.
Both of you. It's a question to both of you, because well.
It's. I think it's as you say, difficult to think that it can really replace this personal contact, sitting at a bar along with other people in the evening. you don't get this through digital ways, but nevertheless, these virtual exhibitions or this, if this is given as an opportunity, I would definitely use it, especially as a manufacturer who wants to present himself. It can be also like you are walking through a digital room and you're seeing the company, you're seeing the product, you can click on a presentation to see more details. It's one way, and I won't leave it out. Definitely not.
Okay. So now your wishes to exhibitions.
Yeah, so I believe that as we are hearing this new term everywhere, the new normal everywhere, so it can be a mix of physical and virtual. Like virtual cannot replace physical, but yes, at the same time, it really helps cutting the cost for everyone. Because let's say from the customer side, one or two person might have visited a physical exhibition. But now in case of a virtual event, maybe the entire team can sit together, have the discussion firsthand and move ahead in the business relationship. So we have to now make best use of all possible opportunities. So maybe after a series of virtual exhibitions, there can be a few physical exhibitions again. So,
So
there should be a mix and match. Yeah.
thank you for these contributions. I have one more news, and this is well, I was discussing with Caroline that India is always surprising, not only in tourism. Well, I got now the message from Ganesh that the show will be extended for one more day. So the Indian Electrical Week will be extended. Why? Because there should be more opportunity for networking. That is something how you can react to these requests of you. And I would recommend all of the audience which we have to make use of this opportunity and to visit the show. It's giving you real impression of the quality and of the range of Indian manufacturing and engineering. Make use of this. For you both, Caroline and Sonal, I'm really grateful that you have been with us, giving some advice. Maybe you can contact each other. I have the feeling that you are more complementary than
Yes.
competitors, and maybe you can help each other. And well, that was what was the purpose also of this discussion, connecting India and Germany by supply chains. And you both have ideas, experience, and can contribute. Thank you, and I wish you good fare and also good contacts, and we will be in touch for sure. Thank you all. Thank you one more time also to Ganesh, who is now as organizer. Thank you for extending and giving us the opportunity to learn a little bit more about India.
Thank you so much, Hans.
Thank you, Sonal. Thank you, Caroline, for taking your time. And thank you, Sonal, at the last moment to accepting and making the good platform.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure, Ganesh, anytime.
Thank
So it was really nice to hear from Hans and Caroline.
Yeah, thank
So it was a very good opportunity. Thank you.
And Ganesh, a good networking event also for us to bring Sonal and me together. Yeah, thanks.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Ganesh, good luck. All best wishes for the rest of the show and the extended show also.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Hans.
We keep in touch. Bye-bye to all of you.
Bye-bye.